one guy who's been lighting it up so far this season, one Kon Knueppel having quite the rookie year for the Hornets. I got to catch up with him earlier today at the Spectrum Center. Well, Kon, fresh off a trip to LA, All-Star Weekend, when you think about just the journey from Duke, draft night, and just having all this in your rookie season, could you have envisioned any of this just a few months ago?
Probably not. I didn't anticipate being here so quickly, but definitely glad it was, and it shows that I'm pretty prepared for it. As the season I'm having and we're having here with the Hornets.
When you think about just your journey, oldest of 5 boys, just what was that like growing up, and how do you feel like your upbringing molded you into the young player that you are today, and who you're becoming so far?
Yeah, I think with five boys in the house and 6 with my dad, and having a mom that played basketball, it's just a real competitive house. Whatever we were doing, board games, if we're playing pickup basketball, video games, whatever, it's always competitive. So I thought that probably helped me in some way to be able to want to compete at the highest level. But yeah, I think back of the times all 5 of us in the house, and I look back on those memories fondly.
When you look at just, this season, going back to draft night, a lot of people, deemed you a bit of a safe pick, and we don't know if this guy has any more room to grow. And you look at, obviously, what you've done so far. What do you have to say to some of those critics when you think about the success you're having and this team is having so far?
Yeah, I think there was, even people that were making decisions with teams wondering about how, maybe high my ceiling was, or I was a high floor prospect. But what I told all the teams and what I believe is, the guys that have higher ceilings are the guys that want to come in and compete every day and get better, because those guys are really going to get better. And so, that's what I have to think about that.
I want to go back to a game. Obviously, you and Cooper going head-to-head there in Dallas back in January. What's that like for you? That was obviously a career-high night for you. When you get into that mode, that killer instinct, it's different for every player. What's that like for you personally?
It was fun. Obviously, a big-time matchup, and definitely cool competing against someone that you know very well and have a lot of respect for and really like. So that's fun to compete against him. But when you get in that mindset, I don't know if it's really that much changes, other than you feel like everything that you shoot is going in, and that's a good feeling.
This team, 15-7 since the turn of the new year. You guys had that 9-game win streak. When you look at just really the switch that you guys had from the beginning of the season to now, the run that you've been on, what would you say has been the main factor in you guys being able to turn things around and get into position to potentially make a run to the postseason?
I just think how we're playing together on both ends, offensively, trusting the pass, playing together, because that's the most fun. But then also defensively, picking up for each other. Making sure we're on our spots defensively to help each other out, and relying on each other on that as well.
There's no question that Kon Knueppel has taken the NBA by storm with his skills as a marksman from beyond the arc. But who exactly is he off the court, and how does he like the Queen City? They're all questions that I asked him earlier today. Here's part 2 of our interview. This team is really gelled, a really young team as well. Who would you say is maybe the biggest personality on the team, as far as being on the road and as being in the locker room? Who are some of the guys that kind of bring, the best out of any situation when you guys are on the road and just being together?
Yeah, I think, Melo obviously has a big personality. But I think guys like Grant, who are just constant, got something to say. Those guys are, fun to have around and, really good for a team.
You mentioned Grant, just having a veteran in the locker room, a guy that's been, through a lot over the course of his career. How has he been able to kind of help you get matriculated? Because still only 20 years old and you still have a lot of room to grow yourself. Yeah,
I think it's those guys, I'm really grateful. It's not often you have guys that are willing to, really embrace rookies and help them out. This is a very competitive business even within the team. Everybody has their own individual goals. And then once you get contracts involved, those are tough. So I'm really grateful that the guys have embraced me with open arms, especially the vets.
Have you had any rookie duty so far? I know it might be different from league to league as far as I know guys in the NFL have different things they have to do. Is there anything particular you've had to do so far?
Yeah, there's just certain things that we got to bring on the road.
Yeah. Are you the snack guy?
Chargers, phone chargers. So anybody that's losing chargers, I gotta go deliver. I know Sion brings cards for the plane, so stuff like that. Yeah.
Who's the best card player?
We play Speed Uno on the plane. So I don't know. Grant's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about just being in the city as well, do you have any favorite spots so far? How's that adjustment been just personally for you, just getting used to, being away from home and just growing as a professional?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying living on my own, which I didn't know how that would go. It's the first time ever doing it. Obviously, a loud, busy house back home in Milwaukee, but I've really enjoyed, being able to do activities on my own, get out in the city, taking care of the house, stuff like that. I think it's fun.
You got to get back home with the entire team. Just take me back to that experience. Just your family hosting the whole squad there when you made that trip to Milwaukee, and just for them to welcome you guys with open arms. I know that'd be special for you, just being so young in your career too.
Yeah, I remember when we went back for the second time, and B-Mill and Miles saw my mom, and they were like, "No invite this time." Like they wanted to come back for round 2, so maybe we'll have to make that a thing.
When you look at just the success, from you guys had the first time coming into this back half of the season, how do you guys keep this going in order to get to where you want to go?
Yeah, I just think keep trusting each other, keep playing together, and really, keep maintaining our competitive edge. Because doing that, we'll have a lot of fun together, and that'll be good.
Kon, thanks so much for your time, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.